Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Blair, which I've actually never really said. I guess I just figured it was understood being in the name of my channel. Today, I'm actually going to show you how I meal plan, prep, kind of how I do everything. So to start to talk about how I plan, I usually try to do, sorry, the dog is running around. I usually try to plan like 2 weeks at a time. I get paid every 2 weeks, so I'll kind of plan up what I'm going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for those 2 weeks, go grocery shopping at one time. That way I don't have to keep, going to the store periodically, because I find it costs more money when you do that. So I bought this nifty little meal planning notebook off of Amazon that actually has a grocery list, but I usually start by putting some Post-its down so I can write out like what kind of meals I want. It also helps me to see it, and I can try to use ingredients that I can use in another meal at a different time. I also, when it comes to breakfast, I have like kind of two go-tos that I do. Usually it's overnight oats is one that I'll do like twice a week, although we're getting closer to winter. And when winter happens, I like to try to transition over to like hot oatmeal instead of the cold. Also, I try to do something with eggs. So like for these weeks, I have some English muffins I need to get rid of. So I might have like an egg and English muffin for one day. And then I also have some pre-made burritos that I bought that actually came out to like $1 a piece when you buy them at Walmart for like a giant package. So I'm gonna finish those off, one to limit how much I gotta buy on groceries this week. And then I usually pick 2 lunches, one that I'll have one week and one that I'll have the next week. It's just one, cheaper for me being by myself and to plan out meals, because if I try to do something different for every single day, it would cost me so much money, and I definitely want to be conscious of a budget for myself. And in dinner, I might do 2 to 3 dinners for the week. Most of the time lately, it's been like one meal that I might eat for 3 or 4 days, and then another one I might eat for a couple days. And I don't typically plan my meals for the weekends or my days off work. I just kind of eat whatever I'm feeling that might be left over or something that needs to be eaten that's gone bad. And I do keep random items in the fridge that I wouldn't typically eat during the week because it takes too long to prep or make, especially for lunches because I only have 30-minute break. So I like something that's quick and convenient. So that's pretty much how I'm going to do that. I'm going to write this up and then I can show you guys what it actually looks like for the 2 weeks and kind of how I'm going to grocery plan as well, because I do that to also keep in budget. So I'm going to write this out from the Post-its into the actual plan and then I'll show that to you. Okay, so I wrote up my meal plan for the next couple weeks. I'm going to kind of go over it and how the list works. But on here, I just kind of write up my breakfast, lunch, and dinners for the week. And then again, I leave the days that I'm off that week blank. So you can see like how I alternate the breakfast throughout the week. Lunch will be the same kind of meal. And then again, dinner, I have a couple that are different. So then I kind of write up a list based on what I don't have already in the pantry, the fridge, the freezer, so that way I know what I actually need to get and then anything else that might be on my list. Okay, so to make it budget friendly, I do most of my grocery shopping actually at a Walmart market because I find it's just cheaper and a lot of times I can get things in bigger quantities, which helps a little bit, like snack foods and stuff that I might have for a few weeks. I actually use typically the Walmart grocery app on my phone, but I'm recording on my phone. So I'm going to kind of show you on the computer how that works for me. So hopefully you can kind of see this, but I actually add everything into this grocery cart of like the things that I know that I need to get. And the nice thing is by having it on the app on my phone, anytime I kind of run out of something that I wouldn't typically need in my meal plan, like say ranch dressing, I ran out this week and I don't use it all the time, but occasionally I do. And again, on those days that I don't have a planned meal, I might need it for that. So I kind of can add these things to my list throughout the week. But then when I start meal planning, I throw everything into my cart. This way I, one, can kind of see down here what my subtotal is going to be. And it helps me to stay in my budget because I usually budget about $100 every 2 weeks for myself. Now, I don't always do grocery pickup. I wish I could more, but it seems like their time slots are kind of minimal at this point. So I use this, and then on my phone, I'll pull up the app when I'm in the grocery store. And then I can use it, one, as my grocery list, and I can delete stuff as I pick it up in the store. And two, then I know I'm staying on budget. Now, if I put everything in my grocery cart and I'm way under my budget that I normally would plan for, then I know if I want like, oh, a random candy bar or an, you know, iced coffee or something, I can get it because I can afford it. That's kind of how I like meal plan. I write up what I need for those 2 weeks, figure out what I got, what I don't need, and then I use that Walmart app or on their website to kind of make sure I have everything figured out and I know where I'm going to fall budget-wise. There are weeks where I sometimes plan meals that are going to require a ton of ingredients and it's going to put me over budget. So then I know, okay, I need to cut out something or I need to alter a meal so I can stay in that budget. So it just helps me budget-wise. It helps me to know that I have at least my core meals planned for the week. And then I always plan on some snacks like protein bars or something to have when I'm on my breaks when I'm hungry. And then like popcorn, so on my days off I can have a snack, that kind of stuff. I usually try to plan in desserts as well. I will say in the summertime, like I love having ice cream because it's hot and it's always nice to have something cold. So I always buy like Yasso bars, which I've showed in a video. But again, we're going into that colder season, so it's harder to want sweets. I don't crave it as much. So sometimes I'll just do like a hot tea in the evening that's sweet. Like I have an apple spice one. I think it's from Celestial Seasonings. That's real good, but it curbs my sweet tooth in the evenings and then it's warm. Obviously too, we got Christmas coming and I do a lot of baked goods for that. So I tend to have cookies all the time around. But this is the gist of how I actually plan it. Now, like Friday is my payday, so I'm going to go grocery shopping. I will try to take you along, I guess, and get a couple clips while I'm in the store. And then Saturday, because I do work Saturday, I try to meal prep after work that day, so I'm good to go for the week. Sundays, I try to not have a lot to do. So I'll kind of show you how I meal prep for a week on Saturday, and then you can see, because sometimes it's actually planning, or not planning, but prepping out the entire meal and portioning it, so it's easier, like say my lunches. And then there's other times where I might just prep the ingredients. Like this week I was having like a chicken sausage and rice. So I just portioned it or cooked it, put it into containers so I had that meal ready to go and I can just heat it up for dinner. But then I don't have to do all the cooking during the week and take a lot of time. So this is kind of how I meal prep. But I guess I'll stop this here and then I'll see you guys on Friday, hopefully, when I go grocery shopping. So we're gonna go ahead and get the meal prepping going. Usually I start with my overnight oats and then I'll work into some lunch. The only other thing that I have to meal prep besides my lunch and my breakfast for this week would be one of my dinners, but it's a crock pot recipe, so I'm gonna wait and do that actually on Sunday so I can have it for dinner that night. So I'll record that tomorrow, but for today we're just gonna focus on my overnight oats, which I only do 2 portions of for this week. And then my lunches for the week, which this actual put together meal is like one of the easiest ones I've had. It doesn't take long to do at all. But let's start with the overnight oats and then we'll go into the lunch and I'll explain a little bit of that in a minute. So that was overnight oats for my lunch this week. I'm actually going to be doing rice, turkey meatballs, and like a zucchini yellow squash. It's extremely easy. The first step is to get the rice going on the stove. And a little trick that I've actually been doing lately with my white rice is putting in some of that Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning into the water while it's boiling before I add the rice. And it just gives it a little extra flavor to go with it so it doesn't taste so, you know, plain or feel like you got to put a lot of seasonings or butter or whatever on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rice going. And then I'll show you the turkey meatballs and the veggies because those are microwave. Like this is, like I said, the easiest meal prep lunch I can make. And it doesn't take long to do an entire week's worth. So let's get the rice going. So while the rice is soaking up the water, we're going to start with the veggies first because they take the longest. This is what I've been buying. It's like a zucchini yellow squash blend from Walmart. It's like $1 a bag and you just steam it in the microwave. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and then I'll just divide it between my containers and then the next thing will be meatballs. But let me get this going. Okay, so while that's going, we're going to go into the meatballs. I've also been buying these, just fully cooked turkey meatballs from Walmart. I do about 3 per lunch. Again, I'm trying to keep my calories down, but also healthy. And this way I have a good blend of rice and veggies and meat. So, but these I found are great. You can microwave them, use them with pasta, sauce, zoodles. I've done that before too. But for this week, we're just gonna heat them up so that way they're thawed out and then put them in the containers. That way it's an easy, quick meal prep. So I'm gonna get these ready to go in the microwave for once that's done. So I swapped the meatballs and I have the veggies all done, steam fresh out. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of drain some of the fluid, and then I did get out a slotted spoon so I can separate it into my containers. So let's work on that next. Water, and then I can portion that one out. So while the rice is actually finishing up, I think I'm going to go ahead and do my kitchen clean because I always do that after I'm done meal prepping. And really this is the last thing I'm going to do today. The other meal that's done tomorrow is going to be done in the crock pot in the morning, which again, I'll still get clips for you guys of that. It's like one of those dump and go type meals. But I'm going to have it for dinner tomorrow, so I want it to be fresh, and then I'll have the leftovers for a couple days. But I'm going to start by getting the kitchen cleaned up, which is something I haven't shown yet, because like I said, I always clean after meal prepping. So let's get this going. And I love these Method cleaners. They just smell so good, and they're not so harsh, it doesn't dry my hands out. But let's start over here. here's what the finished product looks like for the lunch that I prepped for this week. At this point, I'm just gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then I will put the lids on it and move it to the fridge. But I don't like to put it away too hot because then the container's stick. So we'll let this cool and then I'll put it away. But as you can see, I did finish cleaning up the kitchen, so it's all sparkly and pretty again. I'm just gonna kind of stop filming for today because, like I said, all I'm gonna do is put this away. Now tomorrow, as I mentioned, I'm gonna do the crock pot meal, which I will put that recipe for that in the description box below. As well as for the overnight oats that I've been doing. It's just kind of become a staple during the warmer months. And then also tomorrow, besides the crock pot meal, I also prep up my coffee. So I usually just brew a pot of coffee, throw in some sugar, mix it, throw it in the fridge, and then I have like an individual cold coffee for my lunch breaks during the week. So that'll be another thing that I'll do tomorrow, but those aren't too messy, so I don't mind cleaning the kitchen after I do the bulk of my prep. But yeah, so I'll talk to you tomorrow when we do the crock pot meal. Good morning, guys. So I'm gonna throw this in the crock pot. Here's the gist of what is in this meal. It's just the gravy, chicken soup, chicken breast, a little bit of seasoning. You're gonna put it in the crock pot, and then when the chicken's done later, you'll shred that up and put it back into the gravy. And then I'm actually gonna do these instant potatoes on the side, so that way I can put the great chicken gravy on top of it. And then I'm also gonna do a can of green beans just so there's some veggies. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixed up and thrown in the crock pot, and I'll show you how that goes. It's quite a bit later. I'm actually gonna go ahead and shred the chicken so I can add it back in, and you're supposed to add some sour cream into it before you add the chicken shredded back in. It smells good and it's steaming. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. And then to accompany the meal, I'm gonna make these potatoes to put the gravy chicken over the top, and then I'm also gonna make a can of green beans just to go on the side. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of assemble all this, and then I'll show you the finished product. While I'm waiting for the rest of that to finish microwaving, I thought I'd talk about the second meal I'm gonna have this week. Sure everybody loves and knows of the Trader Joe's cauliflower gnocchi. Well, Green Giant has one too. I just get it at Walmart, and I like to eat that with some Alfredo sauce and maybe a piece of garlic bread. So that'll be the meal I'll have later in the week, because obviously it'll hold up longer than, say, this meal that I'm making now, because it needed to be cooked longer and it was fresher. Oh, here's what the finished product looks like, and I would say it's pretty yummy looking considering how gloomy and cold it is today. And then here's kind of the rest of what's left, and this is how I'll store it in the fridge, so I can just portion it up each day when I'm ready to have it again. Just makes it a little bit easier during the week to have at least the different pieces ready to go and I can just heat them up. So that wraps up how I kind of prep and plan for my entire week and have meals that are either pre-made or at least planned out, and I stay in budget. So I hope you found this a little bit useful and got some tips on things that you can use, especially if you live by yourself, because I know most of the meal prepping tips that I keep finding on Pinterest or in other YouTube videos tend to revolve like around more than one person, or they involve like tons of ingredients and different meals all the time, and that's just not budget friendly for someone that is trying to stay, you know, inexpensive but still have things taken care of and prepped throughout the week. So I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that you all have a blessed day.